Oh, beautiful shot there. Nicely done. Gets the pin. Oh, was that beautiful?
Onside kick, and it's recovered by Hastings.
And he's rung up for strike 3.
Double alley. Touchdown Raiders.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please direct your attention to the 50-yard line at the Hastings side of the field.
And good evening, everybody. We are at the Hastings McNamara Stadium at Todd Field for the 2023 home opener for the Hastings Raiders football team. Alongside Owen Ely, I'm Nick Tuckner on HCTV and, of course, also on Town Square Television as we get this cool overhead shot of the field and a cool drone. Now you're going to see gridiron there as well, and it brings you into what is a festive Friday night here, Owen, and you were with me all year last year too. It's so much fun to be here on a Friday night, no matter what happened throughout the week. When you walk in the door of McNamara Stadium at Todd Field, I told Mike Bramer this as I walked in the door, everything falls off the back of the shoulders and we're back home. There's nothing better than Friday night football.
There's no question about it. I'm so happy to be back here, and it's just a special atmosphere. You know, professional football is fun, college football is great, but there's just something different about high school football, the passion, the rivalry, and there's a look at the Hastings schedule. They've already played one game on the road against a powerhouse, as you know. Didn't exactly fare too well in there, but they're looking to correct the direction of the pirate ship here tonight.
You know, no doubt about that. When you look at an Owatonna team that the Raiders played this past week, of course, perennially, year in, year out, a Section 1 power, a state tournament team, if not a champion, and it was a tough sledding type of night. No doubt about that. Whether it was through the air, on the ground, now the Raiders offensively, some of the numbers look like, hey, okay, you know, we're positive in the right direction. Meanwhile, the Two River Warriors, of course, formerly Henry Sibley, still that familiar white, red, and gold here on the road. They opened up against Minneapolis Southwest, winning that game by a final score of 29-6. And Minneapolis Southwest, too, that's a team, depending on the year. I mean, I've seen them go 8-0 during the regular season. Some years they go the other way. So hard for you and I to just read into that score as they come in here to Hastings tonight. I think both teams are in the same situation, Owen. You can't really say what Two Rivers is about quite yet, just because they played a team like Southwest, smaller school in the city type of deal, and of course Hastings going up against one of the top teams in the state. So this is more of a, I don't want to say even matchup, but these two teams know so much more about each other than one another ever thought, and I think tonight you're going to see a little bit more of a real take as to what these teams are all about.
Well, there's no question about it, and I was thinking the same thing. I mean, and you know, there's so many new starters on this Raiders lineup, so many new players that, you know, I was thinking about, well, what are the X's and O's going to look like? Well, it really doesn't matter because you got to figure out who the guys are first. So it's about figuring who's gonna step up, who's going to be your number one running back. You know, there's a lot of discovery that has to be done, and I have a feeling that we're going to get a lot done here. And yeah, these two teams, they're very, very much in similar positions. I mean, imagine how enthralled you have to be if you're Two Rivers. I mean, there was years where, you know, they would lose every single game, so they're 1-0. So, you know, they probably feel like they're golden right now.
And this team, of course, last year, we know the pain of last season, losing to this very same team, and the feeling of losing in a playoff game to one of your rivals is something that a lot of these guys that are holdovers from the last couple of years, they're definitely going to say, hey, we want this one tonight. You look at a guy on both sides of the football, someone like Vincent Zion, a guy who is going to be very important to this team at linebacker and also at the tight end position. And I don't just say tight end in regards to Travis Kelsey, hands on the football type of stuff. Vinny's also going to have to provide a lot of depth blocking wise, helping out this line, guys that maybe haven't been around the block as long as Vincent has been. He's going to have to be a leader, I think, tonight, as many of these two-way veteran players have been the last couple of years. They got to drive your bus tonight if you want to get back to 1-1.
There's no question, and like you said, it starts with Zion, it starts with Ryan. I mean, Ryan Clemens is a senior. He's a senior now. You know, he's seen a good amount of playing time the last few years. I don't want to say it's easier to be a backup, but it's a different thing when you're looked at as being the guy. And there's a look at Dana Strain,
the man. He has become one of the most liked coaches in the league. Anybody I talk to in my travels around Minnesota and Wisconsin high school football sing the praises of our guy who wears blue and gold, and he's been here for the long haul. When he came here as a younger head coach after Bob Majeski left, you all kind of wonder, how long will this fella stick around? He's from the Ellsworth area. Will he stay long term? Well, it seems to me like this is the place where Coach Strain's going to finish his career, all of Bob Majeski, and filling in those footsteps was not easy. But Coach Strain, year in and year out, no matter the talent, finds a way to compete every single season. And here we go at McNamara Stadium at Todd Field. The home season is underway for the Hastings Raiders, and Two Rivers kicks it away. And here's Hastings. Here's Cole Zion. He'll bring it back. Cole Zion out the left side. Zion with an eye. He'll take it across the 30 to the 32-yard line, and that's where the blue and gold-clad Hastings Raiders will begin 1st and 10. And we mentioned Cole Zion. He wears the number 1, Z-E-I-E-N, Zion with an I. Then you got Vincent Zion, Z-E-Y-E-N, Zion with a Y. They are not related, but both will play a big key tonight for the Raiders, as Hastings will be on offense first. And Owen, as you know, getting a rhythm early for this Raider team is vitally important.
There's no question about it. Getting good field position is vitally important for a young offense, so that kick return by Zion is really going to set him up nicely here.
Lucas Foss, big fella, junior, listed at 6'3", 230 out of the shotgun. Raiders will move with that motion across the line to Zion, the tight end. He'll give off to the running back in the backfield, who won't get much. That's Ryan Clemens. Clemens, a big boy himself. Clemens, 6'2", 180 as a senior, so not exactly caught out of the mode of a Peyton Burrow or one of the smaller backs we've had here over the years, but definitely a bruiser and somebody we're going to look to have him kind of wear that defense down throughout the entire season, not just tonight.
Yeah, it could be a totally new look, more of a north-south type of running style.
Sun still out. Raiders going into the sun. Left to right here on your TV screen out of the shotgun. Here is Foss. Foss now will give off again to Clemens. In short steps, gets to the line, and not much, as it's a very similar play to the first. And up the middle for not much of anything. Raiders will have a quick 3rd and long here after 2 plays, so call it 3rd and 9. Raiders with the nose of the football resting on their own 35-yard line. And Foss will bring the play back in. Now, when you think of a quarterback, Foss has the definite numbers when it comes to height, weight, the whole thing. Kind of like the Raider quarterbacks of the past, like an Axel Arnold, big fella, big arm, out of the shotgun. Foss now looks to pass, rolling out near side right, towards his own bench, puts up a pass, and a decent one too at that, but just knocked away. Looking for Cloutier near the now 35 or so of the Two Rivers Warriors. Nice job in the backside there defensively too by Two Rivers, breaking up that pass at the last moment, but kind of trying to get Foss moving early are the Hastings Raiders.
Yeah, and you talked about momentum before the drive started, and when you're forced into a 3rd and 10, I mean, that really limits the type of play calls you can get to realistically try to get 10 yards.
Vincent Zion wears the number 11, back to punt for the Raiders. And we're going to have a penalty here. It's going to actually go against Two Rivers. So now, you think then if it was 3rd and 5, if you would have got a couple more yards in the first couple plays, it would have been potentially somewhere in the neck of the woods of a first down. Now you still will likely be thinking punt. Still at the 40-yard line, the Raiders own, and they will go back into punt formation once again. A 3-man wall set up back in front of Vincent Zion, who works to kick left to right. Good snap. And a kick, nice spiraling kick that'll go back to about the 23-yard line. Coming back to the near side is Two Rivers, as they will bring it back out near the 32-yard line on the return for the Warriors. We'll get his number as he comes back up off the pile here, but a nice return there. Looks like, was it 6? Cole Altavilla
Returned by number 10.
Nope, it was 10. Longerman, thank you, Manny Hill. And he, too, is a young guy. There are some 10th graders out here for Two Rivers tonight, and I don't mean some. Just take a look at the roster right now. I mean, there's a lot of 10s on this roster coming in here tonight. And for a bunch of 10th graders, especially defensively, they look pretty stout that first drive.
Oh, there's no question. You know, I almost wondered with that 5-yard penalty, maybe if they had a little Motor City Dan Campbell in them, maybe.
Right. Schuler comes out, quarterback for Two Rivers. We'll see how many times the TV guy calls him Henry Sibley after his 20-plus years on the radio covering this team. Schuler rolls out to his right, his strong side. Right-handed passer puts it up, a little floater. It's going to be over the head of everybody and into the bench of Two Rivers. Second down and 10. Nice job defensively by the Raiders, not being fooled by anything, staying with their assignments and just giving Schuler nothing to throw to, and Raiders looking good early on.
Yeah, there was just no gaps, tight coverage there, and a little love tap there from Clemens on the quarterback Schuler. Perfectly legal, but made him pay a little bit for rolling out to that side.
Schuler looks the bit as well. When you see him out there, 6 foot 170, moves pretty well. Out of the gun, he'll work this time. Two receivers right, one near side left in front of the Raider bench. Schuler back to pass. The righty puts it up, and he has his man caught by Ramsey Rislov, but he's taken down immediately as Ryan Clemens alongside Vincent Zion, also shooting in there. Cade Kimmis in the vicinity as we go under 10 minutes to go here, first quarter. No score. Raider defense showing some muscle early.
Heavy pressure up the middle, but that comes at a cost because you're sending so many men up the middle, so there was some open space there, but that's where Hastings really excels. They excel defensively at tackling, gang tackling, any type of tackling, and that was a beautiful form tackle there by Clemens.
Rislov, again, a junior. He played some as a sophomore 1 year ago, has that little bit of Alvin Kamara to him. Out of the backfield, Darren Sproles, not a big guy, but can shake and bake into those small spots that not many can. 9:25 to go, first quarter, back to pass. Here comes the right-handed quarterback, Schuler, puts it up, and it's caught. It's caught at the 40-yard line, now to the 43, first down, near a first down, ball came out. But I think they're going to have it at the sticks or near them, past them. It is a first down. Longerman with the grab. First down, Two Rivers, and a nice completion. And gutsy at that here on a third down play. Nice pass out the right side, and then Longerman kind of does the rest of the work.
Yeah, that was some good muscle there from Longerman, who, if you remember, was the mystery wide receiver last year. We couldn't figure out who this kid was.
Correct.
Maybe a little generous on the spot there, but either way, first down here for Two Rivers.
And he played a pretty big year not having a jersey number. You know what I mean? That was pretty interesting because he had a couple instances where this is going to be a false start against the Warriors. Now, this is where a young team could come back and bite you a little bit. Okay, Friday night. You're at Todd Field of all places, one of the most historic fields in the world for someone their first time here. Yeah, you can get a little bit tense down there, and you see them jumping early. And that's something the Raiders got to expose tonight, is make them make their own mistakes and shoot themselves in the feet.
Well, there's no question. I mean, there's no getting used to playing in the Subterranean Bowl.
Subterranean. There's two men moving, and I don't know why that was not an illegal shift. Will not be a penalty as they hand off Rislov right side 40 to the 45, out of bounds before he gets to midfield. Gain of about 5.
Well, you know what they say, Tuck. It's only a penalty if they call it.
Right. I mean, and I understand that. It's just that maybe they said that he wasn't in. I don't know how that wouldn't be motion, but we'll move on. They're going to say officially a gain of about 7 after the penalty, and then the gain there. So now it'll be second down about 9 as Two Rivers approaching midfield. And Schuler, the sophomore quarterback, with the wind under his belt 1 week ago against Minneapolis Southwest, brings him right hash with that 2nd and 9. I formation this time, offset to the right. Schuler will give off Rislov into a handful of Raiders. Awaiting hands, including number 60, Thomas Connor, amongst others, including Lucas Sorensen, long-time Raider. He's still doing his thing out there, and that's another one of those fellas that we're going to look to tonight to make some big plays in the trenches.
Well, this Raiders defense, they're playing like a glue trap. I mean, if they get a hand on you, you're not going much further after that. So excellent tackle there by the Raiders defense.
If you can control between the hash marks of the run game and make these guys try to make plays in the air, I think that's going to benefit guys like Chumsland, some of those fellas in the secondary that can make the big play.
Oh, they have the best tackling secondary in Minnesota football.
Here's a shovel pass. Caught in the backfield, but the Raiders are there. And a big tackle for loss. Hastings shoots in with Barrett Boardman, and he's one of the young fellas. We talk about sophomores on the Warriors side. There's a Raiders sophomore who makes a big play now and sets up 4th down, and it's time to get the ball back here, I think, because you and I both know that Coach Orth, Coach Strain, they're always akin to try something chicanery-esque.
Barrett Boardman laying down the wood there.
That was a great hit. We'll see more of that. The kick's a line drive. Actually, the Raiders got some heat around it. Bouncing, Raiders will pick it up. Cloutier across the 15 to the 20. Shakes a man, 25. And he really made something out of nothing there as he was trapped back in the corner. You got to credit the punt on the play, the coverage, and everything else. But Cloutier could have been pinned inside his 20. Instead, gets back out to the 25. And that is all will and talent there for number 9.
Well, yeah, he made chicken salad out of chicken something, and yeah, I mean, you never really expect somebody to punt a ball like that, so it's just so unorthodox, and you're relying on the roll and an awkward bounce, and it's harder than it looks to field one of those.
And I don't think Kevin O'Connell would teach that way of punting to the Vikings, but that's effective, especially in high school football when punting is not exactly the trade that it is, even in college, let alone the professional ranks. Raiders out of the shotgun again. Foss has a running back off to his right, our left as we look at the screen, and that is Zion. Zion will take the carry. Shoots up the middle across the 25 to the 30, 35. Very near, if not a first down. And Cole Zion showing that little shake and bake. And you and I have said over the last couple of years, when the Raiders have that thunder and lightning, you get a little bit of the thump with the speed. You get those 2 running backs. They can work off each other and become very dynamic.
There's no question about it. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. You look at Reggie Bush, Lendale White. I mean, that's
oh, come on.
It's always been a thing, and then you can build the pass game off of that. But that's the first real positive offensive play here for Hastings. We'll see how they can build on that.
Reggie and Lendale. Now I got to go look at some of my old tapes from the early 2000s and watch some of that fun. Out of the shotgun again. Raiders with 2 receivers to each side working that spread pistol. And there's a handoff. Zion was caught in the back, actually almost horse-collared. Shakes that tackle. Ends up gaining a yard, maybe 2 on the play. And again, we've said it twice on this drive already with Cole Zion keeping his legs moving. He's made something out of nothing. I should say not just Zion, but really Cloutier on the punt return as well. So you're seeing these Raiders doing exactly what Coach Strain wants, and that's working till the end of the play. And we have not seen the Raiders do anything else than that here in this game so far.
And that was a 3-yard swing, whether or not he got taken down in the backfield. I feel like he's coming off smaller than he actually is. They have him listed at 5'10", 180.
Yeah, he's more out of the I'd say out of the Corbin LaFleur cut as opposed to what you might see out of Clemens. Here's a handoff again to Zion, and that time he's kind of ramped up, thrown around, spit out. As one of Hastings' finest going east to west up Highway 55. We thank you if you're listening on your sojourn across town. Hopefully he's got it dialed up on the live stream. I mean, you probably can't watch it. I mean, if you're a police officer, the last thing you're going to be able to do is watch, but at least when he gets home tonight, he'll be able to go home and tune in. And
please don't watch this if you're driving.
No, my previous media, you do want to drive while you're listening on the radio, of course. Train next to me to my left here. Here's the pass by Foss, and that's nearly intercepted. And I think Foss was more or less just trying to pull the trigger than anything. There's also a flag on the play. I'm not sure what for, but that looks like in the neighborhood of a hole. See what this is, and I think if it is against Hastings, that they're going to decline this. And it looks like that's going to be the case. Yep. And then I'll put the Raiders in a 4th and should be 4th down. There we go. 4th down and 8. And the Raider punt team will then come on. I didn't want to assume that Coach Orth, was going to decline it, but I'm just saying relative to what you probably would see in high school football or whatnot, that's probably the play that you'd want to go ahead and do. Just make them punt it away and try to get the football back for your offense. Zion back again, this time at the 22, his own. Right up the middle, splitting the hashes. Good snap again. Vincent Zion's kick, this time end over end. And he takes it on a knee, which will really work well for the Raiders. as Johnny Lagerman, very talented athlete, he had to field it on a knee, so he catches it on a knee. That's where he stops. That's where the play stops, and I think Hastings will take that after the punt. We'll turn the field around. We've seen this many a times between Hastings and Henry Sibley or Two Rivers, where they come out and it's like, all right, we got to feel each other out for a little while. You're seeing that here in the first quarter. It's a field position game, and that's no shock with these two coaches.
No, very, very per the script. And that was a good punt by Zion. I mean, that's better than some WIAC punters.
Right. And it wasn't like that one was the booming spiral that first one was, but that thing still had some base to it. Out to throw here, getting taken down on the throw. Incomplete pass. Clemens again getting through, shooting in almost like Jared Allen. I mean, he's just finding areas on that outside edge and rushing in and getting an opportunity. And Schuler had no time to think, let alone throw, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, there was 2 pass rushers on that right tackle, so he had to pick one of them. And, I mean, I don't want to say he picked wrong because one of them's going free either way, but Clemens, I mean, he's like a surface-to-air missile or something. I mean, if he can be this good as a running back, I mean, he's looking really good as a linebacker.
The Raiders have had a couple of those guys. You think about Fryermuth, who can go both ways and play each spot. You know, like we said, a Division I quality athlete. And you look for that. Back to pass. Schuler again. Another little dump off on the screen. Set up nicely on the block out right side. Finds some more room. Flag comes in. This is going to come back.
It was so unnecessary, that little shot that he gave. It's going to negate a first down.
That is a young man's mistake. That's something you don't make in your senior year on a Friday night. That just does not happen. And that will nullify what maybe was one of the biggest plays of the game here so far, and another first down for Two Rivers. But what is the penalty? There's a little bit of a discussion here as to maybe it's a block in the back or a hole. Crackback block, they're going to say. So that should be 15? Yep, keep going, buddy.
Yeah, they're making the long walk back there.
You're not stopping there, pal. There we go. Okay, so.
And you know,
that's a big play.
I don't want to be hyperbolic, but that is a big play because, you know, every touchdown drive starts with a play like that. I mean, you know, it's a scoreless game. Points probably are going to come at a premium here tonight. And that was a solid play call, execution, everything. It's just a sloppy mistake.
I really liked how the big linemen for Two Rivers were able to really get into space and then utilize that space to create the opportunity for the first down. They can really work in open territory. Raiders got to beware. 3:43 to go. First quarter, no score. Raiders in their home opener of 2023. And here is another sack by the Raiders, trying to escape Rory Schuler, but the Raiders say absolutely not, as Barrett Boardman shoots in there alongside Brady Nickel, and Nickel gets the finish, and you can hear Manny Hill out there, and Hastings, man, shooting in everywhere, puts him in a thorn and long situation, and this is exactly what you want to see out of the blue and gold defense.
Well, this Two Rivers offensive line is so much bigger than the Hastings defense, but this Hastings defense is so much faster and quicker that's you're seeing. He's getting pressured and rolling out of the pocket almost every passing play.
That is the yearly battle. The big fellas from Two Rivers against the speed of Hastings, and it's never been different. Out of the shotgun again, looking to pass. Schuler, he's got to hurry. He puts up a nice ball deep. Raiders get a hand in there. What a play! Shooting in defensively is the aforementioned Sawyer Chumsland, and he can make plays in the outfield during the spring. But he makes a big one right there to set up fourth down and a surefire punting situation. And the Raider defense continues to lead this blue and gold team tonight.
That was such good coverage from Chumsland. He's such a great tackler, but he's really just an all-hands type of player, because that never say, you know, anything's a guarantee, but that was a guaranteed catch if he would have not got his hand on it.
Again, almost blocked. Boykin gets it away. Raiders get it at the 40, 45, near midfield. Finding some room is Cloutier to the 45 of Two Rivers, and the Raiders are into opponent territory, and Hastings will set up with a short field for the first time in this game as Jack Cloutier shows that shake and bake ability, and he creates enough space for himself for another great punt return. And that's something that we got to look at too, because a couple punt returns for tonight for Jack Cloutier have been 10-plus yards. You start putting those yards together, you're seeing what we got now, and that's kind of a turn in the tide of the field position game. And now it's time for the Raiders to push that first score in, and Jack Cloutier has been one of those guys that have led the staff so far.
Well, he's your number one offensive weapon. This has to be the drive. You've been figuring out each other thus far, and now you have tremendous field positioning.
I haven't seen this at all. 4 receivers left. I've never seen that formation. This one's set up, and it's a screen to Cloutier. He's got room across the 30-25, pushed out of bounds. No laundry on the floor either, and Hastings will have another first down. 4 receivers set, and what's Hastings do? Throws a screen, use those other 3 receivers, sets up a beautiful blocking scheme, and this worked to perfection. First time I've ever seen that play, and a great time for it. 1st and 10 Raiders.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hope to see that play again sometime in the future, and you know, that's an underrated thing, the creativity at the high school level, because I guarantee Two Rivers has never practiced for that. When you throw things out there that you've never seen, you're just reacting at that point.
I want to see more of that because you can do so much out of that. And then we're going to see it here too. Now this time 4 to the right side, 2 stacks. This is wonderful. Out of the shotgun, here's Foss. He'll put it up. He's got a man. Got to shake out of that tackle. Does, but won't go too far. Might gain a yard on the play for Hastings. That's Cade Kimmis. I see what they were trying to do there, but again, you just use that play to the left side. Now let's maybe, out of that 4 receiver set, you can have one stretch, try to throw one up with the other 3 sitting low, and maybe you can go one-on-one with somebody, maybe a safety deep, if you can get a matchup like that on Cloutier or any of the other fellas.
Yeah, you got to be a little smarter with the play call, but I like it because it's basically an extension of the run game. It's like a hybrid between a run and a pass, and you know, you're doing well running the ball north-south, so getting into space like that, it's a very creative play call.
Spread 3 to the left, 1 near side right, off the right hash, working as Foss puts up a pass. That one just had a little bit too much on it. Oh, and it tipped into the hands. Now did the Raiders make the play? Who has the football? Somebody has the football. It bounced off a Raider into what looked like Henry Sibley / Two Rivers' hands. And now who do we? This is going to be a scrum. Everybody's pointing Two Rivers' way. It's Raider football. I mean, they can't.
Neither player is going to let go of that football.
No way. Nope. Holding on to it like, oh, and then the Two Rivers guys are saying, nope, this is ours. What a catch! Are you kidding me? We got to see this again.
I could have sworn that was
Esterby just made a catch that I don't think anybody else on this team's going to be able to make this year. Raiders are going to have to hurry up here, too. They're not going to hurry, but we're going to have to as it gets through onto the shoe top, somehow near the knees, holds onto it. Esterby, what a catch. Are you kidding me right now?
Thought we were going to have a Packers-Seahawks type of result there.
That was very similar. Very, very good comparison. Onto the shotgun is Foss. He'll hand off, and there is Zion as he rumbles down. Now that is Cole Zion of the ZEI variety. He gets down near the 2-yard line. And the Raiders rumbling down in the red zone towards that goal line. We're right at that extra point stripe. And again,
just another look at the previous play.
We'll see that, I'm sure, again here around halftime. That one we'll have to have queued up just to take a peek at that, because if the Raiders can finish this drive here with some points, and like you said, with points maybe being at a premium tonight, these could be primo important points. Out of the shotgun, here is Foss. Raiders knocking on the door at the 2. Left to right, down towards the concession stand, and a huge hit. My goodness. Cole Zion got absolutely hammered in the backfield, and the man that whacked him is Jabari LaFleur, the junior, 6'1", 180. And Zion never saw him coming. Loss of a half a yard. My goodness.
Yeah, a loss here for Zion. The play just kind of blew up. But I do want to give credit to Zion because we kind of skipped over it on the last rush. That was such great patience from him not to cut to the outside and to try to cut to the inside, and he got that 7-yard run. Obviously, that play kind of blew up, but we kind of skipped over that because of the pace of the game.
Raiders are going to try to maybe knock one in here before the end of the quarter. 2 seconds, 1 second. They're going to go ahead and try. Here's a shovel pass, and that's going to be a touchdown, Raiders! Cole Zion! I believe that's going to go down as a pass on the shovel. We'll have to wait and hear what Dick Craig says officially, but it is a 2-yard touchdown. Cole Zion in for Hastings, and it's 6-0, and we'll see it again as Foss out of the gun really setting up Zion beautifully. Nice block off the outside and finishes, and that first block is key.
And good stability from Zion because he got bumped before he got into the end zone, just to stay on his feet. But, that's a risky play too because if you let the play clock run down.
High snap, and the extra point is blocked.
Well, you'll take the 6, but, that's a risky play too because if you just go to the end of the quarter, you have so much time to talk it over and figure out what play you really want, but they were adamant on getting that ball off before the end of the quarter, and obviously it paid off.
Excuse me, 6-0, end of the first quarter. You're watching high school football on HCTV and Town Square TV. Well, we're still here. That is a pass. Dick Craig just let us know. So 5-yard pass from Foss to Zion. And the Raiders have the lead here after one quarter. It is 6-0. Hastings will now kick the football away as we're here at McNamara Stadium at Todd Field. Just an absolute beauty of a Friday. Nick Tuckner, Owen Ely, we are here, and this is probably the best weather day we are going to get all season long, and we will take it here in week 2.
Oh, there's no question about it. That just means that later in the season, we're going to be stuck in sub-zero temperatures. But it is beautiful out here. Nobody's getting any sun or anything. It's like 70 degrees. It is packed out here as well.
Oh, it's a great crowd tonight. Both sides of the stadium. And of course, the Little Raider Night, always one of the most well-attended evenings of the year, and so many kids here, and just the festive nature of the opener is always so awesome. And of course, the United Way kickoff event, all the United Way banners out here, thanks to Mary Mellick and her entire crew. They're so awesome. Here is Jack Sieben, and he will boot it away high. End-over-end kick taken at the 15-yard line out the left side to the 20, and he's kind of going sideways. Didn't really get too much more than north and south. And the Raiders on special teams making a nice play. Barrett Boardman out there again. Man, we've said the sophomore's name a few times here so far as he wrapped up Lagerman, and that's not a guy that's easy to take down, and he really has looked the part tonight, the sophomore, both at linebacker and in special teams.
I mean, I am so excited for this defense because it really looks like it's something special. I mean, somehow this defense just keeps getting better year after year. If the offense can score some points like they did tonight, I feel pretty confident, knock on a plastic table, but I feel pretty confident that, they can hold a lead. They have the ability to hold a lead. See if that materializes.
If the defense just keeps playing the way that they are, it won't matter. Here's the handoff on the counter play. Right side, not much. Raiders again doing well, keeping them in front of them more than anything. Boardman's in there, and he gets some help on the play from Brady Nickel. And Brady Nickel, another guy last couple years playing into a spot, playing into a role, now a leader on this team, and counted on to make some huge plays, especially defensively, and he does again right there. So second down, we'll call it 9, and the Raiders keeping Two Rivers in front of them. Between the hashes, that's where Schuler sets up. Under center he goes. Offset I formation to the left side with two receivers split out wide to the left. Handoff, Reslov gets some room out the left side, but not as much as he wanted to. He'll gain maybe 4. It's going to be third down around 4.5, maybe 5. Looks like they got the right foot spots. They're going to give him about 5.5. So third and about 4 now for Two Rivers left hash at their own 28-yard line in front of their own bench with the shadows of the beer stube lingering in the immediate background. Of course, the lights of the DQ back off in the far corner as well. Out of the gun. Full house backfield this time with an offset pistol. Back to pass in deep trouble. Pass comes over the middle. It's caught. That's a first down. Nice pass over the middle by Schuler. And he connects with Adam Suki. And that's a name, too, that we'll remember from last year.
Yeah, he had one heck of a game last year.
Yeah, he did. So that's the first time we've said that name tonight for Two Rivers, and that's a name we don't want to say too much if you're Raider fans, but if you're watching on Town Square TV, up in the West St. Paul Mendota Heights area. You're saying, no, we need to see more of that right now.
And thus far in this game, he's been a heck of a blocker, too. If you watch him blocking, it's with malicious intent.
They've been working really between the hash marks. They're needing their receivers to step up. This time the handoff goes to Ramsey Rislov, and he gets a big gainer on left side. And that'll be a first down and then some. Gain of 12 as some players shooting some breeze back and forth. Max Mogelson, of course, one of those guys who's been tormenting Hastings on both sides of the football for years now, it seems like.
Yeah, they really have to be careful with getting a little too overexcited with some of the language and some of the late hits, because they've already been called once, and they're just kind of asking for it here.
A lot of the guys on both sides that have played the last year or so, they're letting it all out here tonight. Again, a couple of guys moving. Now they're set with Mogelson on the line as a tight end. Here's the handoff. Rislov caught behind the line, but still advances somehow through the line. Also a flag comes in, two of them to be honest.
And a late pancake there from Zion. Might be a penalty on both sides.
There could be a hold, and then there could be something else as well on Mogelson, because he ended up sitting on one of the Raiders at about the Two Rivers 45-yard line. So there's going to have to be, I would think, two penalties here.
Now, this Mogelson kid is so scary, because I remember calling his games as a freshman, and he was the best player on Two Rivers.
Calling that a face mask against Hastings. So big run, and then add on 15 more. And that just became the biggest gainer of the game, and it comes via penalty on something that you didn't need to do here on a Friday night. So the Raiders, they learned their lesson the hard way here so far, but now their back's closer to their own end zone. They're going to have to make some big plays with 8:56 to go, clock running, first half, second quarter, and the Raiders up 6-0.
Yeah, both teams, their first two-ish drives, I mean, they were just trying to figure things out, but now both offenses are kind of all in here.
Two receivers left, short side, one to the right, back to pass, and the pass is going to be altered. Intercepted! Big guy interception! How do you like that? They don't get in on it very often, but when a D lineman gets an interception, it's a special occasion, and Thomas Connor's not going to forget that one. The senior on a tip pass comes down with a pick. Coach Strain to the biggest smile of the night. Seeing a big fella celebrate, there ain't nothing better except for if one of the big fellas scored a touchdown. That was fantastic, and that should get the crowd and the Raiders back into this game again with a 6-0 lead.
I mean, that's as rare as a four-leaf clover, so, I mean, that's, you know, we're all very excited to witness that, and that's exactly what they needed, because the boulder was rolling down the hill. It was rolling down the hill, and now you finally stop it. Now it's time for this offense to make them pay.
I think of the old days of the Vikings with Henry Thomas and Chris Dolman in the late 80s, early 90s, and seeing a guy like Thomas have a football and trying to run with it. Oh, it's just fantastic. Here's a pass over the middle. Caught! This is caught here by Kimmis. First down and more near midfield. Raiders with one of their best offensive plays of the game, gaining 20 and change. And that's exactly how you want to respond. Get the football back, get the turnover, deflate Two Rivers, and now get a big first down on the first play from scrimmage.
And, Tuck, I don't want to gloss over this. That interception was facilitated by heavy pressure from, it was either Clemens or Brady Nickel.
Are you shocked? I mean,
I'm not shocked, but I want to give him his credit.
Right. I mean, those guys, you and I have been talking about those two guys for a couple years now, making the big plays, and it's so important to have your leaders doing just that on a Friday. Stack four, again, far side right, I love it. And in the backfield with the quarterback Foss is going to be Clemens. Quick pass, set up the screen, high pass. Cloutier brings it down midfield. And again, kind of works as a run play, as you said. And gain about 3, maybe 4, depending on the spot. But, you know, I like it. I said before, I like the creativity. I like the idea of using fast physical guys on the outside to make an impact in the blocking game. And this is kind of fun. It's freshening things up a little bit with the offense. And if you're a Raider fan, you got to be going, hey, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, this is a fun performance, and they are really favoring that play anytime they're on extreme hashes, because there's so much space with the hashes being so wide. There's so much field on the opposite side.
It's really exciting, folks. You're going to keep seeing this, I think, throughout the year. 3 receivers, this time wide side of the field. Nice handoff, opened up the middle, and it looked like a 2-yard or so gain before Clemens is pushed back. So Hastings is really going tote for tote here, drive to drive with their running backs. And it's kind of fun watching these guys fight for a few more chances or whatever this might be, or if it's just a straight timeshare. Both guys are trying to find a way to make an impact offensively, and they're doing that so far.
And the big thing, too, with the run game is they're not taking negative plays. Yeah, some of the time it might be only a yard or two, but they're not going backwards when they're running the ball.
You are right on the money. That's something from past years that maybe you couldn't cash in on or hold your hat on, but here you can. 2 receivers each side, right up the middle of the field between the hash marks. Raiders advancing at the 46 at Two Rivers. Back to pass. Foss, he puts it up into triple coverage. This is trouble, and it's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, that is an interesting call right there. That is, never want to throw it into triple coverage.
4th down, 4th and 5. I mean, this is kind of, I mean, we're playing field position right now with a 6-0 lead. If you're the Raiders, you probably do punt here.
Well, I mean, Zane's a pretty good punter, so maybe he's been playing some Madden. Maybe he's been practicing his coffin corner.
Well, he has been practicing that. I know that the way that he has just worked out, period. Seeing him all summer working at Subway up in the Walmart spot. I've been walking in and out there talking to Vinny all summer, and he really has worked on all facets of his game. This one's a beauty. This will take right down to the 20-yard line in the air on a knee. Will take the
26-yard
punt, and it'll be an 80-yard trek here for Two Rivers to end with a touchdown. Now, I know Coach Orth enough, and over the years of watching him and his teams play, with this 6:52 on the clock right here, what he wants to do is get in that end zone with about 3 seconds left, hit the extra point, and have the lead at halftime. That's all he's thinking about right now, and he's done it before, and I can guarantee you he's going to try to do it again here.
Playing the long game.
But, again, this is so the MO of both teams, and we've seen this so many times. Here's a handoff. Rislov again up the middle this time. Gets a couple. Some pushing and shoving after the fact. Gain of about 2. But back to the point with these two teams, I mean, I would say maybe the last 10 years. You know, even up at Batson Field, I remember the game where they made it was a offensive lineman eligible play and threw a touchdown at the very end of the half, and then they got a 2-point conversion after the fact and took the lead into the half after not doing much of anything that entire first 24 minutes of football. It was amazing. Raiders eventually got it back into gear, won that game something down the lines of 12-8. It was it was not the most fun of games, but we were happy the Raiders won. Rislov on a screen, tackled immediately. What a great defensive effort there by Hastings, Creed Peterson. And, you know, when you're a wrestler, there's things that go hand in hand. And one thing with wrestling that goes well with football is tackling. And you're seeing one of the best tacklers on the outside the Raiders have in Creed Peterson. And right there, steps up. And that is a great cornerback play. Great tackle for loss. That's how we play football.
I mean, he would make Antoine Winfield Sr. shed a tear. He was just watching like a hawk. He was not fooled at all. He was ready to pounce.
He's just so cerebral, smart. When they need him, he's ready to rock and roll, and this time he'll be in the slot defending Rislov one-on-one. Out of the shotgun. Rislov is lined up. Oh, that movement on Sibley. I'm going to call him Sibley 17 more times tonight, fans. I'm sorry. This is going to be against Two Rivers. That's going to move them back into the shadow of their own end zone. Down to the 15 or so, and the Raider fans dressed tonight in cowboy theme tonight, which they're letting the Two Rivers Warriors know you can't do that. And in emphatic fashion, the kids today that I've seen around town from this morning, the time we dropped Dallas off at school till before we got in here, I'm so proud of these kids and just how they've got this town ready for tonight. With all the hubbub we got with Little Raiders and the United Way and everything else. Back to pass on the run. Nice pass, too, into traffic. It's caught. That's a first down play on 3rd and 16. That is a tremendous pass, far side right. And on the catch, that's Johnny Lagerman. And if anybody's going to make a play on a 3rd and 16 to move the chains in an important spot in the first half, that's the guy it's going to be. What a great pass and a great catch.
Well, yeah, it's going to be him. And kind of building off of the atmosphere, I mean, high school football, it's really only as fun as the high school students make it. If they're not having a good time, if they're not dressing up, why would we even show up at that point? There's no reason. It's not fun.
It was just as fun this morning. Like I said, just running around town, getting coffee, kids all filling up our respective spots, and just excited for Friday nights again. Here's a handoff, Rislov, and there's a flag that comes down. That should be a flag, too, for a face mask. So we're going to have 2 penalties here. Oh, boy.
Such a shame because they're such great tacklers.
This might be offsetting, so we're probably just going to replay the down, but that's a bummer because that would have moved them back a little bit. If this is 2 on Hastings, this is you get the face mask, you know which one will be taken. Uh-oh. They might both be on Hastings.
And we talked at the beginning of the game about how, the penalties might stack up on a young, inexperienced Two Rivers team, but they've been pretty even here.
Official just lost something. There we go. How about that? Nice play there by Alton Majetic. He saw that, I think it was the coin come fall out of his pocket. And Alton said, hey, we got something for you. So
that should count for a yard. They should move it a yard in our favor.
Move it there. That's a very good, astute observation.
Get out a jail free card maybe for the next penalty.
Yeah, you might need that quarter after the game. You might have to go over to the beer stube and have a heart steak after the game or whatever it might be.
You have the beer stube on your mind tonight.
Well, it's just sitting there staring at me, and I keep smelling the waft of Reuben in the air. Offset high to the right side, and on the run is the cornerback, Rory Schuler. Puts it up over the top of the Raider D, caught there by guess who? And it's number 10, Johnny Longerman, and another huge play, and that one's the biggest offensive play of the game. That'll move the chains about 30 yards into the Hastings side of things, called their 41. So Two Rivers connects, and you're seeing the sophomore start to get comfortable. Rory Schuler, Raiders got to continue to get the pressure on him. They've been able to get turnovers so far, some big hits. They can't give him as much time as they have been here on this drive, or what we talked about when this drive started, that they want to milk the clock and end it with a score. That very well could happen if the Raiders don't button down the hatches here.
And that's such an impressive play from Schuler on the run, pinpoint accuracy, drooping it over the top of a defender. That is crazy.
Mogelson in motion across the line. Raiders send a man in, and they over-pursued, and that lets Rislov get through, and then tackle from behind there, and they want a flag, and now they're going to get a late flag because they heard the Two Rivers bench oohing and eyeing, so that's also going to be tacked on to the end of the run, I am sure, for either a horse collar tackle, or did he get a piece of the face mask? I'm not really sure.
I don't know if I didn't look like he got the face mask.
What did you see there, Hunter? I don't know if you guys got that or not, but I'd love to see what they got him on there. But it was a pretty rough tackle, but it looked like he did grab him around the shoulder area. Personal foul, horse collar, yep.
And that's so devastating, too, because you blew up the offensive line. That should have been a loss of 1 or 2. You give up the play, and then you give up a 15-yard penalty right after. That's brutal. That's compounding mistakes. It's bad enough to make one mistake, but to compound it like that, look at the swing in the field here. They're well within the red zone.
Yeah, I don't know how many times, like I said, it's going to take about 20 years of reprogramming me from the first 20 years of doing this to not call Two Rivers Henry Sibley. Honestly, it's like constantly on my mind, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm going the right way with it, folks. Patience. Offset eye under center is the cornerback again, handing off to Ramsey Rislov, and he will get back outside right. Raiders trying to strip that thing out. Good pursuit in the tackle. Rislov didn't get much for as much action as he put in right there, only gains a couple, and the Raiders pursuing quite well. And Hastings with Cade Kimmis on that corner near side really getting in there to slow him down, and everybody else coming in to help close the deal.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I would not want to get tackled by Hastings tonight because they are finishing these tackles.
Oh, yeah.
They are you can tell they're wrestlers for many reasons, but they're driving them through the ground. These look really painful.
There's been a nice smattering of hits on both sides here tonight that have been just fantastic football plays. Man in motion across the line to the left, reset now back on the handoff. Rislov taken down, and Hastings again. Vincent Zion wanted him, but he had a buddy there to help clean everything else up, and Ryan Clemens was there, also had a helper in Brady Nickel, and the Raiders making another nice stop, forcing third down. Now we are in the vicinity of what you would tend to call field goal range here, Owen, but we have not seen a foot much of anything out here today that would give me any type of assumption that Mason Boykin has been kicking all year or whatever it might be. But they're in that area. So with a minute left, we've kind of talked about and predicted the drive was going to go like this, and here we are with 1:08 to go. Back to pass again, putting it up into the corner of the end zone, and knocked away. What a great play.
And
no! They're going to call a flag there? Are you kidding me? That was a great defensive play. I didn't see any hands. That's going to be against Two Rivers, I think. This is going to be offensive pass. I was going to say, because there's no way that Sawyer Chumsley did anything to... No. No way. He didn't touch him.
It's so rare to call offensive pass interference. I feared the worst on that one, and yeah, there's the tiniest bit of contact, but you know they're both fighting for the ball.
Well, if you're going to call defensive pass interference there, at least in the end zone, make it be offensive pass or defensive pass interference. That was not in that particular spot. 1:03 to go. Third down and 9. Ball at the 7-yard line. Raiders trying to bend but not break. Handoff. Rislov right side finds room. He's in for the touchdown. Rislov in from 7. No flags. And Two Rivers is in to tie the game. 7-yard touchdown run.
7 yards out.
Well, it's crazy, too, because that was all speed to the outside, and like we've been talking about, you know, it's the size of Two Rivers versus the speed of Hastings, but, you know, the Raiders' defensive line, they're just busting through the center of that offensive line every single play, so now Two Rivers, they're just going to the outside, and there's, you know, they have the man advantage when they go to the outside on those type of scenarios.
Extra point try for Boykin. Right-footed kicker. Altavilla holding, high snap, kick up, and it's good. And hey, exactly Coach Orth's plan executed to a T. Boykin's kick is good, and it's 7-6. Two Rivers leading Hastings now, and Raiders got 58 seconds. You have all of your timeouts. Now put together some plays here. There's got to be the 2-minute drill playbook, whatever it might be, but now you're thinking some kind of points. Let's get into the area where Jack can try to drill one through, at least get us 3 to take that lead back into the locker room. So that's going to be a big goal here. And this is a spot, too. Any of those guys back there, Cole Zion, Jack Cloutier, Cade Kimmis, any one of those 3 guys can jailbreak the thing and bring it back home all the way into Walgreens. So if these guys can make a play and the guys up front can make a play, at least set up good field position, the Raiders might have a good chance here, Owen, to get something back on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty much a prerequisite that you're going to need a decent return here. This is where you really miss Johnny B because you would just send him out on a post, he would make that cut, and then you'd hit him for a 70-yard touchdown. Maybe you try that with Cloutier. It's probably... I mean, you do have 3 timeouts, but it's probably going to have to come the majority of it through the pass game. Very much so. And Hastings been clicking a little bit. This is a pooch kick that the Raiders will end up getting decent field position with, as it will come out across the 40 to the 42. On the return from Hastings is actually going to be Thomas McGinnis, 6'3", 195, more known as a wide receiver and a linebacker, but you know, you never know when your number is going to be called on special teams, but McGinnis there was ready, and not only was he ready, but he advanced the ball a couple yards, protected that football, made sure he wasn't going to lose it, and set it up beautifully, and now the Raiders might have a shot here with only less than 60 yards to go to get one in there. Well, I don't know what Two Rivers was doing. If you want an onside kick, onside kick. If you want to kick it deep, but, I mean, if Cloutier had returned that to the 42, you would go, wow, that's a really good kick return. This is great field position regardless of how you got it. Get out of bounds a couple times. Remember, you do got 3 timeouts, all of them. Still pressure coming. Nicely held up. The Raider line did a great job as that pass across the field is caught by the Hastings Raiders for a gain of 5. Jack Burdick making the grab. First time his hands have factored in.
Raiders will hurry it up. 36 seconds. Got to move here. Remember, the Raiders got 3 timeouts. They're going to maybe use those after this play here, depending on the play. This one's tipped and incomplete anyway, so we'll stop the clock. So 28 seconds left.
Time just melted off. You really have to have a sense of urgency with it.
Yep, I agree. I think the timeout there probably would have saved the Raiders at least 10, 15 seconds there.
You just got to be decisive, and if you don't know what you're doing there, then you take the timeout. It's no big deal.
Now the Raiders have a second to huddle up, but now you're at 3rd and 5. Now you need a first down.
What, Two Rivers has all 3 of their timeouts as well?
That's where I was going with that too, Owen. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now put it up. Pass is caught by Burdick over the middle. Gets in between the hash marks across the 35, right around the 35 is where that will end. And be called down 35-yard line of Two Rivers. And the Raiders are doing exactly as you and I were talking here just moments ago before the kickoff, Owen. That's just get good field position. Move the football. Get a first down or 2. Use your timeouts. Raiders do that. Now 18.9 to go. This is way more doable than anything was just moments ago. And you just maybe need one more play. Get down the field and then start thinking about points. And I know you don't have a lot of time to think, but those 2 timeouts should help the Raiders here, Owen.
Well, and Tuck, let's not overlook that throw, because how many times, and no disrespect, but how many times in the last couple of years have we seen a play like that, from like Milner or somebody, where they overshoot it and it results in an interception?
Right.
We should not take that for granted. That was a beautiful play right there, and you have plenty of time. And to be honest, you could just take some shots at the end zone from here. It's not, you'd like to be a little closer, but I mean, you're not that far out, and it's very plausible you can come out here with points if you play this situation correctly.
It could happen here. I mean, the Raiders have enough room and enough athletes on the outside, either speed and or hands, that they can make something happen. 18.9 seconds to go. Raiders right to left on your TV screen. Raiders moved. Now anything I just said, move it back 5 yards and we'll redo it. You know what I mean? You get all excited. And the kids do that too, because they're like all jacked up, and then a penalty, and it kind of deflates you. Even as a broadcaster, you feel that same kind of feeling up here with all the crowd, same time collectively groaning. First down, 15 to go, now at the 40. Back to pass, Foss steps up, avoids the blitz beautifully, and he will take off and run. He'll run a couple guys over, and he's near a first down. Call timeout, and Coach Strain has it. There we go. Beautiful. There's that play. Okay, got some of that yardage back that you kind of shellacked away from you there a moment ago. Now it's like, hey, all right, now you got a second down, and now they're going to say first down. They're moving the chains here. They're giving the Raiders a first down there. Not that the downs even matter right here with 9 seconds left, but the Raiders have practiced this scenario maybe more than any from the start of the season till week 2. Now they have a chance to execute, and this will be fun because Hastings knows they need points here. They're giving the football back to open up the second half. Points here would be almost mandatory, and it'd be nice to see them do it at the end of the half to give them some confidence that they can get the job done at any time in the game.
There's no question, and that was such a heads-up play there by the quarterback, because Foss, because you see the space in front of you. You have the timeout. He didn't have happy feet. It's not like he immediately went to rushing the ball. He tried to go through his reads. It was pretty good coverage, and that was a heads-up play there by Foss.
And what it is, too, is that was smart running. Now, I'm not comparing one player to the other. I'm not doing that. But last night, even in a losing effort, you saw Patrick Mahomes a couple of times pulling the football down and running. Now, while Patrick Mahomes is not some speedster, speed demon, whatever it might be, the whole fact of the matter is that they were able to still utilize their quarterback running the football, and he wasn't blowing anyone's doors off, but he was efficient, got first downs, did enough to keep the drive moving. That's exactly what Foss needs to do. Just do enough with the feet to keep us going offensively.
That's what makes Aaron Rodgers great. He takes the yards that are in front of him.
You have to. Under 10 to go. putting up a pass deep into the end zone. That's a beautiful ball. And some footwork. No real pushing, shoving. You can't call that for any kind of penalty. So if you're looking for a flag here at Todd Field, you're not going to get one.
And you know, Tuck, that was actually a good attribute of Milner last year. Milner was a great scrambler in situations like that.
Cloutier just took his gloves off. Watch. Oh, they're kicking it. Okay, that's why. Cloutier is holding. They're going to try a long field goal here. Jack Sieben on for a long one.
42.
One of my favorites out there, and he knows that. Right to left. Bad snap. He still got the kickoff! Jack Sieben, you are cold-blooded, young man! Yeah! What a kick by Jack Sieben! Horrible snap! What a great hold! And somehow, Jack slams it through! Kicks it into Walgreens and gives the Raiders the lead.
That is the equivalent of hitting a 60-yard field goal in the NFL. We talk about this every year. We talk about how hard it is to punt and kick at the high school level. There are so many high school football teams that cannot kick a 25-yard field goal, and he just hit a 42-yarder like it was nothing, with plenty of distance to spare as well.
Jack Sieben, big field goal, 42 yards at the end of the half. And boy, I think Owen and I were being a little too prophetic there as to what might happen here in this first half. Well, look at the scoreboard. It's low scoring. It's exciting. It's 9-7 Hastings in the Raiders home opener, and you are watching high school football on HCTV and Town Square TV.
It's not like it's going to be a whole bunch of fun and hanging out, but I'm just saying it's some lady and gloves will be there.
Weather will be nice.
Yeah. Where the fuck?
We got Selby Avenue Jazz Festival.
Oh, yeah.
But that's going to be like, I have to be over there like 12 for like a couple hours.
Yeah, just to make it appearance and stuff, yeah. Where is my thing for Facebook? Yeah, hold on a minute. Why do I not? I know it's like 1 and then 4 if we win or something.
And welcome back, everybody, to McNamara Stadium at Todd Field. Nick Tucker, Owen Ely. The sun now set. You can see a little bit of light maybe over the western horizon, but for all intents and purposes, now the second half of football, bringing in the twilight, if you will. And after that first half of action, and I was just talking to Manny Hill just a couple seconds ago just about how this team was able to come out and really run a similar script to what we've seen so many times between these two teams because they know each other so well. But like Manny also said too, is that there's no secrets. And I think we saw that in this first half, that even trying to stack four on one side and the cool things we were doing offensively, there's really nothing that's not known about each other's squads that really, I think, set it up for a really nice first half of football.
Yeah, the familiarity almost just kind of evens the playing grounds, almost no matter the scenario. I mean, it's just you're so familiar with them, and what a Hastings and Two Rivers. I almost messed up there, but what a Hastings and Two Rivers score, 9-7.
Right?
I mean, we're in for a real gross final score if this is how this game's going to go, but.
So far, though, the one thing that I think the Raiders can hang their hats or helmets on, for that matter, is the defense. And I thought the defensive effort that the Raiders gave in the first half tonight, now I know who you played last week, and I hate to keep comparing it, but that was night and day football. Now I know you're playing against one of the top teams in the state last week, but when you come back to a team where you know them so well and there's no secrets, that's where I was going with that, is the fact that this team comes out here and puts together that kind of defensive effort. You play like this against any other team you're going to face the rest of this schedule, and you're going to win more games than you're going to lose, and we got to see that same defensive effort here in the second half.
And I think, in the pregame I talked about, it's not so much about the X's and O's, it's about the discovery.
Right.
Figuring out who's good, what you can do. What a big discovery to figure out. We can kick 40-plus yard field goals. That is so many. 98% of teams can't even dream about doing that. That is crazy impressive at the high school level. And, that's just how many drives stall out at the 25-yard line. And, you just go for it on fourth down, turn the ball over, and, you're leaving points on the table.
Jack Sieben. Okay, young man has had a few opportunities this year. He had an extra point that he was able to nail last week in a tough game. That was great. Comes out here, bad snap, first one, ends up getting blocked. Was not his fault. Here, bad snap, great hold, and he somehow hits and drills a 42-yard go-ahead field goal at the buzzer. That's what a senior leader does, and Jack Sieben got that done in the first half.
Well, they say you have to win two of three, facets of the game to win. There's offense, defense, special teams, and, it looks like our biggest gap is with special teams. So now it's just on the defense to try to stop some of the momentum from Two Rivers, or the offense to kind of get chugging here. I'm really interested to see, over the last handful of years, it's been a very clean team, generally speaking, but there was a lot of penalties on both sides, and, if you can clean that up a little bit, I mean, if there's a differential of 4 or 5 penalties between the two teams and, that goes in your favor, I mean, they're either drive killers or drive extenders. And
I like the mentality both these teams and a little bit of spice each team's playing with, right? After plays, you're seeing, not in sportsmanlike stuff, but, hey, okay, hit me again, let's line up and do it again kind of stuff. And that's good football. Like to see that. Raiders with Sieben here, getting ready to boot it away, and there we go. He's going to kick that one down to about the 7. Fake the reverse. Keeping it near side, Longerman breaks the tackle 25, 30, 35. Jack Sieben gets in there to throw a little bump and slow him down, so you're going to give him not only a field goal tonight, but also a tackle on special teams. And Jack Sieben makes his presence felt to start the second half, just as he did to round out the first with that 42-yard field goal. And you'll see that again. We'll fake the little reverse, and I think that little bite gave enough room for Longerman to shake a little bit and get more yards.
Well, and you got to give credit to Joseph McIntyre, who had the block to allow for maybe an extra 10 yards on that one. It's amazing what teams can do when they have good blocking.
Well, and both of these teams are physical enough that on each side of the ball you're going to see plenty of it here, and you have already tonight. 9-7 Raiders, second half. First play from scrimmage is a big-time tackle. Raiders with Clemens getting a piece also in there with an interception in that first half. Thomas Connor, maybe one of the most exciting, fun plays I've gotten to call here in the last couple years with the big man getting the interception. But a nice first play here as you can watch defensively, again, just zoning in, finding Rislov. You can't let him shake out of any tackles in this half.
No, and I was locked in on Clemens that play because I had a feeling something was going to come from him. And what a great job at not overextending and just, stopping for just a second, seeing if he was going to cut to the outside or the inside, and now he gets the tackle for no gain.
Schuler, offset eye left, fake the counter, give to the tailback and nothing. Brady Nickel in there, get some help. Thomas Connor, the big fella, squeezing in there once again. And also in the vicinity, Ben Thome, as the run goes for nothing and a loss actually for Brady Nickel. And we talked about him a couple times tonight. Leadership, leaders got to lead, and they're doing that right now.
Well, and this is what technique does. I mean, you look at the Raiders' defense. It's a small defense, but they have so much technique in their tackles and such high IQs. With gang tackling and things like this, that nobody is escaping a scenario like that.
Raiders need a big play defensively. 3rd and 12. Would love to get the football back as Two Rivers started with the football in the second half. Nice blitz there from Vinny Zion. He picks him up. Nice pass. Oh, it's intercepted by Creed Peterson. Oh, what a catch! There's no way that ball was either tipped. It took a little hop, but there was Creed Peterson far right, puts those hands under somehow, some way, and makes the interception. We'll get a look at this one as well as the second pick of the game. This one by more of a standard type of guy you'd see get a pick. What a great play. Owen, what'd you see?
Oh, just the leap. I mean, he looked like a jaguar out there, just leaping up to get that ball. But I wish there were assists in football because Vinny Zion has had so many assists. That was entirely facilitated. I mean, great play by Peterson, but he was rolling out pressured. He felt him breathing down his neck. That was all Vinny Zion. But it was Creed Peterson who gets the glory. He made a great play, but man, it's such selfless play. Everybody's making plays out here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, both those names you said have both been making an impact here so far. This time the Raiders will sled up that right side for a game. They're going to say a loss of a half a yard.
Here's a final look at the interception.
Yeah, just how did he get his hands under that athleticism? Right in front of the Sibley, or the two, there it is, in front of the Two Rivers bench, and you can just see there was no bit of, hey, he didn't make the catch. I mean, they all knew it. They saw it right there happen in front of them, and that was just a heck of a play by the Raider multi-sport athlete in Creed Peterson.
The game recognizes game.
No doubt about that. Two receivers left, one to the right side. Back to pass. Foss, plenty of time, protected well, and that's going to be a flag. Had hands all over the receiver, deep in the secondary. Coach Strain's on the field screaming, and I would be there right there with him if I was not wearing a headset. And, yeah, I agree. There's no way that is not interference of some kind. We'll see if we can wrangle on a makeup call here on 3rd and 11. Because that was ridiculous.
And look, he's trying to coach the referee on, on what happened there.
Matt Foss basically had his jersey taken off of him. But we'll try it again. 3rd and 11. Raiders working right hash just across midfield. Trips left. Raiders work the pistol onto the gun. Clemens is set up as a wing back off the left side, and we're going to delay a game.
Unnecessary penalty right there. You just have to, that last play, you just have to get it out of your mind. And again, I talk about this all the time, but you don't want to compound mistakes. That's two mistakes in a row right there.
No, that's going to put the Raiders into a sticky 3rd down situation. Where you were moments ago, you might have been thinking that, and even there, 4-down territory probably isn't a good idea to maybe go for the 45, but you know where I'm going. I mean, you're getting close to that spot. Any penalty, any loss of yards is going to get you. One receiver, short side right, two to the left, back to pass. Foss on his offside goes left. Puts up a pass off the fingertips of Matt Foss. And we'll have 4th down as the Raiders couldn't catch a break either with the stripes or with that last pass. 4th down as we'll punt it away.
And Tuck, think about how devastating this is, psychologically. It's like you turn the ball over on an interception. If you can capitalize and go down the field and score, that's a huge deal. But now it's like, well, that interception didn't even really matter. Right. Nothing happened. I mean, think about how Two Rivers is feeling. They're feeling like they're Teflon Don over there.
Right.
Because nothing happened. Their defense just stood you up. You made some mistakes.
Well stated as this one's kicked away by Zion. That's beautiful. Well done there, young man. That'll take a bounce down to about the 21.5. Another nice punt by Vincent Zion, doing his things as a senior shall do and factoring in on all sides here tonight. And the Raiders will give it back. As Owen said, it kind of stings a little bit after the big defensive play to not be able to cash in. But to be honest, with the score 9-7, nobody's really cashed in on much of anything offensively here tonight. It's been a story about defense, and the Raiders have played quite a bit of it. But I'm not going to go any further than crediting this Two Rivers defense, too, because the Raiders have been able to find a couple of nice plays here and there, but they haven't had a home run yet either. I mean, you got to say, and give credit where credit is due, and Coach Orth's defense is playing one whale of a game themselves.
But you have to help out your defense because we've seen this defense fail when they're, last year when you ask them to play perfect, lights out for 4 quarters, it's so hard to do.
Especially in a place like this on the road. Here's a handoff that goes to Rislov, and he'll get back into the middle and scoot ahead for about 3. 9:10 to go, clock running. We're in the 3rd quarter at Back to Barrett Stadium, Todd Field, quite possibly the best night of the late summer, early fall, whatever you want to call it. It's not really fall. Isn't it the 20th? It's probably around my birthday, coming up on the 20th. I told everybody my birthday is. Hey, everybody, I'm going to be an old man here this year. 8:49 to go.
I just can't get over how full the away benches are.
Well, this is typical with this. I mean, they travel so well, especially down here, and I know their kids love coming down here because of this bowl-like structure we have here. High pass caught, broken down, and a great hit far side. The Raider defense had that sniffed out. Creed Peterson was there. A great catch on the play. I mean, don't get me wrong, but even a better play defensively as soon as Lagerman made the catch. There was Creed there to smack him right in the mouth.
Yeah, that was a great catch, but an even better takedown by Peterson. Just drove him back like 6 yards.
Big play. 3rd and 1.5. Big line. Remember, this is where the size, and not only the size, but the size combined with that athleticism, this is where Two Rivers can be dangerous in the short yardage situations. Under center. Tight, but offset I formation. The handoff goes to Rislov. He was caught in the backfield, shakes a tackle, breaks another, gets out to the 45, 1st down and more. He's going to gain about 10. Move the chains, Two Rivers, Rislov. Shaky, man, he's good though. He finds those spots, little hip move and gets through, and just a good first move breaking that tackle. If the Raiders could have made the play there, he would have been done in 4th down, but you got to credit Rislov with the great individual effort in the backfield.
No question, and they were on to what you were talking about because they really loaded up that box. But that Rislov is such a game changer for this offense because, yeah, they're big, but he's not.
Right.
He's probably the fastest player on the field.
Very much like Peyton Burrow. They're very comparable athletes.
God, I miss Peyton Burrow.
I miss him. I just miss him as a young man. He's just wonderful. This is going to be a fake handoff, rolling into a bunch of players off fingertips on the pass, out of bounds in front of the Raider bench. And then I'll bring up 2nd down. Who's that down there? Is that Levis? I think so. Raiders, tremendous coaching staff, group of men down there that have been coaching this group year in and year out. A lot of the same faces and names are here, but same goes on the Two Rivers side, back to their Henry Sibley days, and a lot of these coaches have worked together for many years. Offset I, near side right. Tailback is Rislov, and he'll not get the football, rolling out left side. On the run, pass is going to be caught by Lagerman at the 43 up to the 45.5. And I'll bring up 3rd down in about 5. Big play again. I mean, I'm going to say that probably every time the Warriors have the ball on 3rd down here for the Raider defense. turn the ball over, find a way, get the football back, force a punting situation, whatever it is, get that ball back and start finding a way to take this clock over. You're going to need another score. You're going to need another score. We know that before you can really take the clock and do things with it. But right now, get the football back.
Yeah, if you can add 7 or probably 8 at this point, I mean, you're setting very pretty if you can get the stop here.
It'd be huge. Offset eye again, right side. Fake the handoff, rolling near side, strong side. Pass on the run, caught. That one's caught there by Suki, ahead to the 40-yard line, and he's thrown out of bounds. Actually, that's Riley Pierce, the other senior. 5'9", 200. So they got Pierce 2, Suki 3. Low-numbered fellas, dynamic athletes on the outside. Gain of 14 officially, says Manny Hill. Move the chains, ball at the 40. Hastings 40, first down.
And Schuler is fast. It's crazy because a lot of the best plays on defense for Hastings have happened on those rollouts.
Right.
But all the big plays really, and at least in the passing game for Two Rivers, have come on those rollouts. So when they can get on him immediately, I mean, it turns out tremendous. But if you give Schuler any space, I mean, he's making him pay for it.
Schuler pretty dangerous on the run with the football, and I haven't seen him really take off. Oh, there's going to be a fumble. It's going to be fumbled somewhere in the backfield. I don't know if the Raiders have it. They say they do, and I don't know if they see the football or not. And the Hastings Raiders have it! Vincent Zion has the football! And now there's a player hurt, and Vincent's trying to help the young man. Oh, he's having a cramp. And look at Vincent. Vincent's right there helping stretch the young man out so he could get his. Now that is sportsmanship, and that's what Friday nights are about, folks. I'm sorry. If you guys just saw that right there, that is why we play football. That was awesome. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I know that has nothing to do with the game per se. That was bigger than the game right there.
Just a great play all around, you know, in terms of sportsmanship and, well, in terms of capitalizing on a mistake.
Right.
They're just a plain and simple botched handoff, and, you know, they just fell on it first.
Okay, my dream, though, is to recover a fumble and run back towards the, with the ball in my hand. He didn't even think about that. He was thinking about helping his opponent and making sure that cramp was out of there. Yeah, you don't teach that stuff. You're born with that stuff. Out of the shotgun. 3 receivers, wide to the right side. Look at a pass right side, kind of a quasi-screen, caught by Cloutier. And out to the 50, and again, kind of a run type of pass effort there. And what was that? I mean, you had a receiver step back, come back about 5 yards looking like he might be the one to get a screen. And then what do you start thinking? Well, if they're going to throw back behind, maybe it's going to be some sort of a double pass. And instead, no, they kind of had everybody fooled, stuck Cloutier back in, and get a little 5-yard gain out of it. That's good football again by the Raiders and Coach Cook.
Yeah, just great play call there. And such a beautiful throw there by Foss. Oh, it's so weird looking at a guy like him throw a ball that pretty because he's bigger than some of the offensive linemen.
Right.
I mean, he's one of the biggest guys out there.
Has very similar features to almost a Harley Pottinger back in the mid-late 90s. This one broken free by Cole Zion, and we've seen him shake a little bit a few times, and that time he'll run for 20 to first down up the right side, and I like seeing that as Cole Zion, another one of those juniors that can make plays, and he steps up here and does the same offensively. And like you and I talked about just moments ago, get the football back, but not just get the football back, but let's find some points so we can take this clock over and go get some pizza.
And you know you're gonna run the clock down with Zion. I mean, you know, keeping with the theme of discovery, I mean, we know for sure he's the lightning of this offense. There's no question about that. He has established himself as a player you must have out there on offense.
Just very impressed with the way that guys have been able to shuttle in and out too. When you see a guy that might come out and now, bless the Raiders, they haven't had too many, looks like, injuries early on in this game so far. But when a guy comes out, you're seeing the next guy up, and that mentality is so cliche. I know that, fans. But that first guy off the bench is seemingly that guy that comes in and makes these plays. And you've been seeing that on and on and on. Peterson might come out for a play. Very next play comes back in, plays slot corner, makes a huge play, turns the whole game around. I mean, these guys are ready to play whenever it is their feet find the turf.
And so often, the guy who makes the play isn't even the guy who makes the play. It's somebody else who's setting it up. It's like a beautiful assist in volleyball or an alley-oop or something. I mean,
that was a great analogy earlier, too. If there's just a way you could get some of these guys an assist in football, they'd have plenty of them tonight, only in a 9-7 score, but everybody's meant so much to what this team has done thus far, as this pass will be complete for a gain of a yard. So again, Raiders working the pass game kind of into the running game to combat and maybe open things up. And what that has done, I think, too, and you've seen it, I mean, throughout the game, and that's something the Raiders haven't done in the past, is to be able to pass to open up that running game a little bit. You keep passing, even those little short ones, you're going to end up bopping a few, one or two, like Zion did there, to get that first down.
Well, if you can't stretch the field vertically, at the very least, you can stretch it horizontally with that screen game.
And there's a fake counter, give back to Zion up the middle, across the 25, down to the 20. He lost the football. Lost the football. And who's got it? Two Rivers. Raiders lose the football. Oh, they're saying he's down. He's down. He's down.
Yeah,
Raiders are keeping that football. He kind of
rolled with that a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't see where the football came out, so we'll have to take a look here on the replay. Nice job, fellas, on the replay. Oh, he was down. He was not down. He was not down.
I thought he kind of rolled with it, and that's where it came out.
Yep,
but yeah,
that was a fumble. Raiders got away with one, and that's why in high school football, it's a good thing we don't have instant replay that the officials can use. So,
hey, we love people tuning into HCTV, but it's a good thing they don't have it over on the opposing bench right now.
Well, I don't know. Coach Orth might be sneaky enough to have it on in his pocket right now. So I wouldn't say it too loud. He might even have the earbud in for all I know. But
if he goes out there showing the ref his phone, I got a bad feeling.
Yeah, we're gonna have some issues. Out of the shotgun, Raiders go two short side. I think that Coach Orth wants a timeout.
Boy, that is such a big break. That is such a big break. I mean, it's tough being a ref, because it's just bang calls like that. But that was absolutely a fumble.
Let's talk about that while we have a second too, because you're watching the guy right there, and we know he kind of got a little upset at the official when there was a play that obviously was pass interference. It didn't go the one way, but. I'm really, really impressed with these officials tonight. I think they've done a great job. And the one thing that we've talked about a lot during the offseason, and I think this summer it was stated quite a bit from different media entities and whatnot, is the fact that if you're at these games, and I know we have to even put some over the loudspeaker now, if you're at these games, you got to realize that these officials are the only reason that we can play the game. If we don't have the official, we could have the parents and the fans and the student sections, they could all leave. You need the officials to play the football game. And it's been kind of a sad projection over the years to see a lot more fans thinking that they have liberties to go ahead and accost officials or whatever it might be. Tonight, both sides, I haven't heard a thing, and it's been so awesome. These two teams know each other so well. They're groups of people, know each other so well. This is why rivalries are what they should be, and we're seeing it here tonight. Out of the gun. Handoff goes to Zion, finds a hole out left side, comes back into the middle, carries a couple men down to the 10-yard line. Slipping through, just kind of squiggling like a little night crawler in the beginning of spring, finding his footing. And he gets through.
It's such a thankless job, too, and for anybody who says they could go down there and ref, well, you're not licensed. So those four people are the most important people on the field right now, because without them, this game, there's no chance of this game going on.
9-7. The reason the Raiders are up, a 58-second drive in the final minute that resulted in a field goal from Jack Sieben. Here's an end around to Jack Cloutier, who gets down near the 5, just shy of the 5, so not much there. But again, we're looking at point vicinity, if you will, and the Raiders going down towards the Walgreens side of the field, and right now looking like they could possibly take a 2-score lead here.
I like that play too. We haven't seen that play tonight. It was a fresh play call. The big thing that I wonder is, would you be willing to take a field goal here, or is it 4-down territory?
Boy, you're really right on with that too. At this time, if it was 2:16 in the fourth, I'd say take the points. In the third, I don't know. This one's fumbled, picked back up by Foss, and he's going to be sacked. And look who it is. On the other side, Ramsey Rizlov making a great defensive play, and Raiders shoot themselves in the proverbial foot on first down, which is good news, bad news. It's only second down, but Raiders lose a few yards in the whole mix of everything.
And if you're a Raider, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot because you're probably carrying a musket or something, so I'd imagine that's pretty painful.
A musket. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Unless we're talking black powder or something like that. The fall, duck hunting or whatever it might be. Out of the shotgun again. Here's Foss. Puts a man in motion. Fakes the jet. Gives to Zion across the 10, down to the 5. Gets back down inside the 5. So now we're looking at 3rd down and goal from inside the 5. Cole Zion, another positive run. And Raiders using his wheels quite frequently here now in the second half.
Well, this is just the Zion game. Whether or not you spell it with a Y or an I, they've been the best players on both sides of the ball for Hastings.
They have been making a difference. Would like to look back at this one later in the year and remember it as the Z game. 2 receivers, right, 1 left, short side. That's Matt Foss. Back to pass. Flushed out right, get rid of it. And he does, and it's nearly intercepted, and it's caught. Caught by one of the linemen, tipped. But that's probably not what the Raiders wanted because they're going to lose a ton of yards and maybe knock them out of field goal range. Are you kidding me right now? What was that?
Well, they're definitely still in field goal range, but...
Oh, yeah, with Jack, you are.
With Jack, but... Yeah, sometimes it's just better to have a dead play than to have something like that occur.
In that situation, the young man, Foss, under center, he needs to just throw that thing into the beer stew, man. Just get rid of it. Throw it to Coach Orth. Don't put it back on the field anywhere. There's no reason.
Because if he holds on to the ball, that's at a minimum 3 points that are potentially off the board.
We're going to take a 30-second break as the teams switch sides of the field. The Raiders, they still have the lead after no scoring in the 3rd quarter. Hastings 9, 2 Rivers 7. You're watching high school football on HCTV and Town Square Television.
At Hastings Community TV, we have been telling the story of Hastings since 1983. By supporting HCTV, you are supporting weekly live high school sports coverage, community events, original shows like Take a Hike Mike, Man on the Street, Aprons Optional, and Around the Mic. You are also contributing to coverage for school events, graduation, prom, school board meetings, and the student-run broadcast journalism course, The Echo.
HCTV is your one-stop shop for all things local government. This coverage includes City Council and other local government meetings, forums, PSAs, local news packages, and so much more.
HCTV also provides virtual alternatives to in-person viewing for notable events around Hastings. We make all of our content viewable to everyone.
We're back, folks, here as we start quarter number 4. The Raiders will try a field goal. Jack Sieben works right hash out of the snap, and then the hold of Cloutier, who gets it down, and that's not going to make it. That was a bad snap again. The Raiders have been not so good in the snapping game, and they're going to miss this field goal while the band continues to play while the play is going on. Field goal is no good. So 9-7 as we welcome you back here.
Lace is out, Dan. That was he made from 43, and then he missed there from 36.
Nothing on Jack. That had nothing to do with the young man booting the ball. Bad snap. Cloutier did his best to get the hold down, as he did with the field goal that was made in dramatic fashion at the end of the first half.
And that's a really big swing, because now a field goal takes the lead for the Warriors. Not that they would kick a field goal or are very keen on kicking a field goal, but, you know.
I don't think that's, like you said, I don't think that's really the safe spot for either coach, really, to be honest. Rislov right finds room. He's going to get a first down or very close to it out right side in front of his own bench. And Ramsey Rislov really has looked good tonight as well. It's very similar type of back to what we've seen out of Cole Zion. Not a big guy, can shake a little bit, can make somebody miss a tackle and create havoc on the other side of the football. But right now, that's going to end up being a 9-yard gain, so the Raiders keeping him away from the sticks just a yard, but good enough. Maybe if they can get some sort of push here, get a loss, then you're looking at 3rd down and maybe changing this 4th quarter and changing the field again and take that part of the game over. Offset I, under center. is the sophomore quarterback, and they're going to do an end around, cutting back to the middle. Oh, he bounced right off of Clemens, and now we're going to get a flag in there too. Nice tackle on the play here near side. Raiders getting a body in there at the end, and Blake Vanderhoff. And there's going to be a penalty, but what is this going to be?
Probably a holding on Suchi.
I was going to say a hold on the receiver is what it looked like to me. Yeah, the official looked right at Suki and said, dude, you bear hugged him. So we know it's going to be a hold against Two Rivers, and you and I just talked about it. You know, you get second down, make a play, find a way. Well, a penalty will move them back, and you're still looking at second down, and now a chance for your defense with Two Rivers deep in their own end to maybe make some noise here, maybe make another play, make another turnover, do something to force a bad pass, something here deep inside Two Rivers' side of things.
If you're the Raiders, you'll take it. I mean, yards are yards. You know, it doesn't matter whether or not they're penalty or, you know, you're tackling them for a loss. You'll take that.
Let's see a blitz out of Hastings here. See if they send somebody up the middle. 10:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. Call it regulation. 9-7. Hastings leading. Back to pass. They send the troops up the middle. Pass is thrown up into the air. Creed Peterson has another interception. And boy, was that easy. He makes the grab at the 35, just like he's playing outfield. Makes the grab, interception. We get that big play. We force them into a play that they weren't comfortable in. And what happens? You really turn the field over. And now Hastings is in business. And dare I say it, Owen, the Raiders have a chance to really put the Warriors on the ropes the way this defense is playing football.
Tremendous field position, and again, it was not Creed Peterson making the play. Nope. It was Zion and Lucas Sorensen. I mean, he made the catch, which, you know, congrats, you know, for not dropping it. But, you know, it's other people making plays that they don't get the credit for that somebody else gets, but it all benefits your team.
It was that crossing blitz up the middle, and it was beautifully executed. This is not as beautifully executed, unfortunately, for Hastings. It's a great play in the backfield, though, man. You're not going to get much past Max Mogelson. We know that. And he makes a big play in the backfield, and he throws down Cole Zion, loss of about 4. 10:24 to go, fourth quarter, call regulation from Todd Field, week 2 of the 2023 high school football season, the opener at home for the Raiders. My name is Nick Tuckner, and I'm alongside Owen Ely, the mailman himself, back in session after hibernating the last, I'd say 4 or 5 months, but he looks pretty dang good for being in the cave for as long as he's been, man. Had a baby.
I'm back to delivering.
Back to delivering the mail. 10 minutes to go here. We're going to deliver a touchdown, hopefully here. Voss, he's hit from behind, and that's going to be delivered into the crowd. And that almost hit one of our little saxophone players, and she's she's counting her blessings right now, folks. Let me say, hey, nice throw by the fan right there. Fell in the fluorescent green shirt. He gets a couple low fives from his buddies, but they're all giving him tutorials right now in the stands as to how he should have thrown the football. Of course, every one of those guys probably could have threw it better, or there they say. What's going on here? We had the football, like, you know, at the 35, and, you know, after the big play defensively again, we're kind of behind the 8 ball here.
We really need to settle down a little bit here.
Out of the gun, Raiders on the reverse pitch. What a play in the backfield.
That is not the play call you need on 3rd and 14.
What is going on here? The Raiders just going backwards, and the exact reverse opposite of what we said the Raiders would love to have happen. Well, let's play the opposite game, because that just happened.
Tuck, again, it's Teflon Orth, because they throw the interception. It means nothing because you stalled out.
Yeah,
they're going to get the ball back. And only like 90 seconds came off the clock.
And you and I said coming back out of half. I mean, you got to credit both defenses. This is a great defensive football game tonight, and I've had a blast. I know you have as well, and you fans out there have probably had a ton of fun. Here's a nice kick on the run, and again, taking it on a knee right around the 20. Vinny Zion's been in right around the 20, if not at the 20, around the 20. And in football, if you're punting and you're getting around the 20 or inside of it, every time you're kicking, you're doing something right. And again, Zion sets him up with an 80-yard field, and we're seeing the leaders. And I hate to keep sounding repetitive, but man, when I am, things are going right, and that's what we're seeing right now. Another great kick and a leader leading as he should.
But it's the only thing is it's not sustainable. The offense needs to put something on the board, because how many times last year did we see the Raiders defense, they stop somebody over and over and over and over and over again, but any defense will break if you put enough
pressure on
it. And it's like, they've played so well tonight, but what if this is the drive that they break? You've been asking them to, win the game for you.
Man in motion across the line again. Pierce, handoff. Rislov goes out right side, shakes a man, a second, breaks into open territory. Better get back. They do. Push him out of bounds near the 38-yard line. That's a big gainer of about almost 20 yards for a first down. And oof.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, you're man, you speaking the truth right now. That's exactly as read. Raiders can't let that start to happen. You don't want anything to snowball. I would assume that Two Rivers is probably going to try to eat some clock here too, knowing that even a field goal could put them ahead here. The handoff, back up the middle. Rislov has not had much sledding in between the hash marks tonight. And Brady Nickel says, you ain't going any further, buddy, as he hits about the 42 or so and then is pushed back. They're going to give him a gain of, I don't think it should be that much, but call it 3.
You have to be so I cringe sometimes watching this. You have to be so careful if you're Nickel and these guys tackling him, because if you go for a half a second longer after they whistle, that's add 10 or 15.
We can't have that now. You're totally right. Raiders got to be more disciplined than they have been on any drive that they have been tonight. Not like penalties have been an issue, but you do not want it to come rear its ugly face in this particular situation and or drive. Handoff to a different back this time, getting outside right. It's a little bit bigger guy, and that's going to be 32. His name is Mason Krupeni, and the 5'10", 185 junior.
We got a Raider down on the field. I think that's Nickel.
Yep. Slow to get up, Brady Nickel. Think he got the wind kind of knocked out of him there. So he will get back up, run off on his own power. So that's what we wanted to see. That's good news. Yeah, he's fine. He just looked over at Coach Strait and said, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, he got the wind knocked out of him, exactly as he said there to one of the Raider coaches. Said to Coach Fritzy, I got the wind knocked out of me. He'll just gain his bearings, and you will likely see Brady Nickel back in the game momentarily. But Brady comes out. Now it's time for somebody else to step up and have to make a play here. Hastings sending Thomas McGinnis in as a linebacker here in this instance without Nickel in the game. Raiders go with the big front, step one guy back, linebacker Zion steps back, and now here's the shovel pass into the middle of the field. Rislov finds room across the 45 to the 40. He's taken down there, but another first down gainer, and Two Rivers moving the football, moving the chains, also moving the clock. 9-7, Raiders lead it, up by 2 with 7:23 to go, and Two Rivers on the run in Raider territory, call it the 41.
And what a cheeky little play there, because they've had so much success running the ball to the outside, not much success going north and south. So they fake going outside, you give the pitch, it parted like the Red Seas, and you just got 15 yards on that carry up the middle.
Raiders do a couple of wholesale changes defensively as well. Johnny Teglin jets out. Bring Jack Burke back into the game in the middle. First down and 10. Tight formation. Offset I left. Man in motion. Johnny Lagerman, and he moved along with another guy on the far side. This should be two men moving at once, and this time this is going to be procedure, illegal motion, false start. Delay a game.
And there comes Nickel back into the game.
There he is. He's not going to miss much. You knew that was going to happen. Not in a game like this, or it's a one-score game. Home opener. Huge student section tonight. The whole student section, that is that kind of 5-row area behind the Hastings bench, is completely full and overflowing, actually, because kids are standing up on the partition right behind the benches.
Hopefully it's built sturdier than FedEx Field.
Oh, man, you're not kidding. Here's a run right side, and this time pushed out of bounds, getting back to the original line of scrimmage, and then maybe another extra yard or two on the play. As Krupeni in the game, running, and I think maybe just giving Rislov a blow, because he was playing quite a bit of defense on that last defensive drive. So if you got another guy like we've seen with Clemens and Zion, you might as well go ahead and at this point of the game when you know you kind of have the clock on your side, even though you're trailing, use the guys that work right now. And if you need to use Rislov defensively, you're going to be able to have him fresh.
It's fresh legs against players who have been out there all game long for the Raiders. So, I mean, you'll take that every time.
Offset eye, man in motion, right side Pierce. Handoff, Rislov back in the game. Gets ahead, but only for a couple yards, if that. Raiders had a host of many there, led by Clemens. And then is that Nickel losing his helmet? Oh, that's the big fella, Thomas Connor again. He's had one heck of a game tonight, too.
Yeah, Mr. Interception. And now this gets really interesting because the clock is approaching 6 minutes. It's kind of a will they score or won't they score, and that kind of decides the game. I mean, the onus is kind of on the Raiders' defense to get the stop here.
You hate to say you need a turnover here, but the opportunistic Raider defense that we've seen tonight, if anybody's going to come up with a big play defensively now, it's going to be the guys in blue and gold when it matters most. 3rd and 6. 37-yard line of the Hastings Raiders is Two Rivers. Right to left, far hash mark. Back to pass, putting it up deep but short. And not even close to either defensive back nor receivers. It's thrown out of play. And Schuler wants a redo on that one. So now we got 4th down, and this is 4-down territory. You are not kicking a field goal here. You have Rislov coming back in. Watch him, obviously. Cole Altavilla has checked in.
Yeah, unless you think you can kick a 54-yard field goal, you're not gonna try it from here.
Is this chicanery time? Does Cole Jorth get weird here?
It's as good a time as ever.
That's kind of where I'm starting to think.
Rivers fan.
Here we go. Play of the game for the Raider D. Maybe the play of the game overall. Back to pass. Pressure coming. Deep pass, and it's going to be incomplete. Nobody knew where it was. Hey, that's a turnover on downs. 5:32 to go. And though it seems anticlimactic around here with no cheers or anything, that may be the biggest play of the game, Owen.
You just have to get a few first downs. Which easier said than done, especially the way this offense has been working in the second half. But
Owen says that, and he looks over at me, and I start pounding on my chest. You guys could probably hear that. That's what my chest literally feels like right now as we got some fun coming up. Boy, that Raiders volleyball game with Prescott's going to be something. They have a couple Division I athletes over there at the Patak Girls. That's going to be fun on the 12th. Football, of course, gets Matamidi next week on the 14th. Can't wait for that one. Going to be a big crowd again. Soccer doubleheader on the 19th against Matamidi, and then on the 21st, we got swimming against the Polars. Oh, that's going to be a blast as well right here on HCTV. Tune in. Back to pass. Foss. Caught. Cloutier on the screen. 40, 45. There you go. 8 yards on first down. Clock will move. Raiders have 2 timeouts. They will not use right now at all. The Warriors have 3. Clock is ticking. 5:14 to go. And the poker game between coaches Orth and Strain is officially on.
At this point, it's just the only thing that matters is moving forward. I mean, 2nd and 1, you get the first down here. And you get another first down, another set of downs, and very quickly this time is going to melt off the clock if you do it correctly.
Keep it in play. Positive yards. Foss out of the gun. Hands off. Cole Zion. First down. Perfect. That's exactly what you do right there. Pierce came in, tried to get a shot on Foss. Foss shaked him, and Pierce ended up getting the worst of that as he's limping back into his huddle 2. And the Raiders, again, like you see, just that nice first block, that nice early block, getting a hand on one of the Warriors is Alton Majetic. And again, a guy, you're not going to say his name a lot. And if you're not seeing his name a lot, he's probably doing one whale of a job. And I think that's been Alton's really calling card tonight. I mean, you just haven't had to say his name, and that's how he'd like it.
He's one heck of a defensive tackle as well. I remember from last year. I mean, we were calling his name a lot on defense.
And not your prototypical defensive tackle last year either. I mean, he's a guy that really does a lot with that athleticism and creates more out of what he has. As this time, Cade Kimmis gets the end around on the jet. He'll get a couple more, but we're between the hashes. Now you're going to get a whistle, and I think you're going to get a timeout here from the Two Rivers Warriors, and that is exactly the case. 3:57 to go here. In regulation, I will not say the game. too close of a game at this point, obviously, even with the football and the clock on our side. Raiders leading by a score of 9-7, and people might be thinking, if they're just tuning into this game and they walked in the door, turned the TV on, 9-7, oh boy, I didn't miss anything. I beg to differ. This has been one heck of a football game, and again, we can't say anything more, but this is maybe one of the better defensive performances on both sides that I have seen in a football game here in quite some time.
It really has been. It's probably one of the most exciting 9-7 games I've ever seen.
You're right at any level.
I mean, if you're a fan of defense, I mean, this game is for you. If you're a fan of offense, maybe not, but this has been a good game. This has been a fun game. This will be a fun victory if they can indeed, hold on to the lead here.
Yeah, we're still too far away from that. 4 minutes to go here, and you and I and everybody else watching knows that these two coaches have way too many tricks up their sleeve to leave any time on the clock and think any game is anywhere close to over. Man in motion is Cloutier. Fake the jet, back the pass. Nope, hand it off. Nice play there given to Colzion, and he churns up the middle near another first down. He'll be just a half a yard short, but again, that's okay because now you set up a third down and about a half a yard. Let the clock run, see if Coach Orth will call another timeout or eat up 40 seconds or so and then get that first down, and then you put him in a really tough spot because now you got 4 new downs, and you're going to milk off a lot more of the clock than the Warriors want. So this is maybe the play of the game right here. 3rd and 1, believe it or not. 3rd and 1 on the 40-yard line of Two Rivers are the Raiders.
And such creativity in the run game because it has to be a run. We're not going to pass the ball and risk an interception. No. So it's, that was a little cheeky move there by the Raiders against Coach Orth.
Another fake jet. Give it up the middle. That's a first down. That's perfect. Gain of 2. That's all you needed. Needed 1.5. You got 2 1/4, and that'll move the chains for Hastings. Two Rivers is saying they got the football, and the referee, far side judge, is saying, no, sir, it's not. That's a first down. Where are they spotting this thing? Yeah, that's a first down. That nose of the football's just touching the 40. Well, I'm just saying, what took so long there?
A lot of deliberation there.
I guess.
First down, Raiders.
Well, good thing I wasn't officiating that particular deliberation. I didn't want to get a handful from either side as both are talking to both sides' coaches right now. One feels one way, one feels the other, but the way that matters for anybody right now is the fact that this is a first down and Two Rivers has only 2 timeouts left. Raiders need another first down, but I think we're going to get a timeout here because Orth didn't call timeout. Now he might have. So my guess is that's their second timeout, and they'll just keep it with 3:10 to go, first down, which would leave, if the Warriors called that timeout, with only 1.
Timeout, Two Rivers.
Yeah, so that's exactly the case as the sultry voice of Manny Hill says over the loudspeaker, that the Two Rivers Warriors indeed did take the timeout. So you got to play a numbers game. Coach Strain's one of the best math teachers I know around. If anybody knows that this is a numbers game, it's that guy down there. First down and 10, you're at the 39 of your opponent, up by 2 points, and you know that you can milk the clock. Right here, Owen, this is something, again, you work on in practice. It seems so darn insignificant, even to the kids, while you're doing it on a Wednesday afternoon when it's 96 degrees like it was this week, and they're working on milking the clock in the final 2 minutes. Well, we're at 3:10, and everything that they've worked on in those particular scenarios now is going to show up in a huge game, big crowd, first home game of the year. This, again, and I've said it a million times already, it's a huge drive, but these plays right here are what is going to win or lose the game for Hastings.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, if you want to be a winning team, that's something you have to practice.
I mean, it seems so insignificant. Like I said, maybe boring. But the Raiders got to invest and utilize everything they've learned, and here's an end around to Cloutier. Yeah, fall down. Attaboy, Jack, smart football. He falls down in play purposely so he would go down, forcing the Warriors to potentially call timeout. And not only that, he gained 5 yards in the process, 4 or 5 yards. So that's not only getting the positive yards, you're putting yourself closer to another first down that then would probably put the game away. But you also go ahead and stay in bounds, and that is something, like I said, you and I have said this a couple times tonight already. there's things that the Raiders are doing tonight that you can't teach. You either know how to do it or you don't. By the time you learn how to do it, you're well out of high school, right? And these kids tonight are making those plays, and that's the reason why they have the 9 on their side right now and have a legitimate opportunity to win this game on what could be the final drive of the game for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's all about, heads-up IQ, composure at this point, because when you think about it, I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world. We just have to go 6 yards and the game's over. But obviously easier said than done. But if you just kind of stay within yourself and don't make any dumb mistakes like committing, a holding penalty or something, it's extraordinarily achievable.
Twins and Mets are tied at 3. Is that what Manny Hill just said? You say 3-3? Manny, 3-3? 2-2. Sorry, I had to correct myself. Twins and the Mets. They might be going to the playoffs. Hey, and hopefully winning something for once. I mean, I don't want to get excited for them going, but you know what I mean. I'm still a Minnesota Bleeding Heart faithful. Here's the handoff again to Cole Zion, and still positive yards. Warriors have no timeouts. That's all you needed to do there. Now you're looking at 3rd down at about 5. The clock going.
And it'll be interesting to see if you can't get the first down here.
Right.
If it's like 4th and 2, you probably just end up going for it at that point.
So.
Just go for the kill.
Yep, you almost have to, the way your defense is played tonight. You believe in those guys. You leave them with a 70 or so yard field to run in 2 minutes without timeouts. You have home run hitters like Love. And, of course, with Lagerman out there, you never know. Big play. 3rd and 5. The handoff will go to Cole Zion, and he falls ahead on top of one of the players. And, I thought he was going to get sent ahead even further. He's going to be short of the 30, so he's short of the first down.
By about 2 yards.
Yeah, you're right. So the chess game continues. If you're playing Texas Hold'em, are you Coach Strain and saying, yeah, I got pocket 3s. I can maybe try to ride this out here.
I think no matter what, I would milk the clock down, call a timeout, and think it over.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right, and that's exactly what's going to happen. The Warriors are making some changes defensively, bringing Mogelson back into the game, bringing out one of their bigger interior linemen. So I have a feeling that they might try to get some edge pressure here with Mogelson. The timeout called by Hastings. That is going to leave them with 1 more left.
And you can pass the ball here because if you don't get the first down, you can't milk the clock on a turnover of downs. So you have the full playbook here.
Stack the 4 again and do that thing? I mean,
yeah, you could do that.
Set it up to the screen.
You probably would like to be a little more on the Hastings side of the hash, but there's plenty of space. You could do that. Do you even consider coffin corner? Is it that
right?
It's a difference of 15 yards, but when you're pinned so far back,
chipping it in like that might be a good idea too. There's all sorts of methods you could use here in this situation, and it really is decision time. And Coach Cook is the one who is out there talking to the unit, so it is going to be the Raider offense who is going to have the opportunity to put this game on ice if you can get the first down. Now, the one thing, if you stack it up and throw a screen, you'd better darn well make sure that that ball is caught by a guy in blue and gold and not the other team. God forbid.
Yeah, that's a recipe for
you know what I mean? That's the scary part.
Yeah.
So you can't give them that here. You've got to be smart. You might just stick with a run and, like you said, go to your D, and hopefully you can get enough push here to get 2 yards out of the shotgun. And that's going to be 2 Rivers offsides, and that's going to win the game.
Or you can do it that way.
Or you can go ahead and do that. And that will put the game away. I mean, with the way this game has gone tonight and some of the weird passes and tips and great plays and whatever, why not, right? Why not? Let's win the game like that.
I mean, what did I say earlier? It doesn't matter if it's a penalty or right. if you rush for it. It's a first down either way.
This game has been way too prophetic for Owen and I tonight. But again, when you have 2 teams, you almost know what they're going to do anyway. You get the scorer that you have on the board right now, and you get 2 broadcasters who know these teams also very well, who will tell you before the game what's going to happen. And tonight, What happened is this blue and gold bleeding heart Raider is going to go home to a happy family, a happy Dallas, who I can already sense celebrating back at home in Southwest Hastings, as I know our house is extremely excited for our squad to get back to 1-1 and take on Matamidi, who got absolutely spanked last week by Andover. I don't know what they're doing tonight. But the Raiders will take on the Zephyrs with the chance to go to 2-1 against a perennial state powerhouse. After taking a knee here to force third down, that probably should do it. I would think he took that knee with 39. Yeah, that's it. Your Hastings Raiders go to 1-1, and they go to 1-0 at home. Your Hastings Raiders tonight, they win over Two Rivers, and it was a great game. The final 9-7. The Hastings Raiders knock off the Two Rivers Warriors and seek and receive a little redemption for what happened in playoffs one season ago. Oh, and that was fantastic football and should really have the Raiders going in the right direction as we come back home next Friday night.
Oh, there's no question about it, and this is a win that feels good because it was so ugly. It was an ugly win, but you like to win these to know that you can win them. It's easy to win beautifully. It's easy to blow out a team, but to win a 9-7 game, to rely on your defense that much, you learned a lot about your team. You learned a lot about your defense. You learned a lot about your run game. Like I said, it was a game of discovery. This is why they pay me the big bucks, because I'm prophetic.
That's right. And we kind of predicted the future for all of you tonight. Raiders got things going with a pass from Foss, call it a shovel, 5-yard variety with no time left on that first quarter clock. Blocked the kick. It was 6-0. Raiders don't write off Two Rivers. They come back down. 58 seconds left. Second quarter. Rislow in from 7. Boykin the kick. And, of course, in Coach Orth fashion, wanted that 1-point lead heading into the half. But this time he didn't get it. Raiders come back down in 58 seconds. That ends with a 42-yard field goal from Jack Sieben, which ends up being the game-winning field goal, as there was no scoring from either team in the second half, and the game-winning field goal off the right foot of a senior leader in Jack Sieben. And the defense, they do the rest of the job, and I don't mean one guy. I mean all 11. This was absolutely wonderful defensive football, and that's the way it ends tonight. I want to thank Hunter Pinky, Mike Bramer, Kurt Radke, Will Celine, Seth Essler. Great job tonight, guys, all around the field. This was so much fun, and if you get a chance to rewatch this, if you watch it live tonight, I'm sure you're going to go ahead and rewatch this one too, especially if you're a fan of this Raider defense, even Two Rivers for that matter. You cannot say anything bad about this Warrior team as well. Hat tip to Coach Orth and his squad. Good luck, and we'll see you later on, hopefully, in the year. But the final score tonight, the Raiders, they're victorious, and they go to 1-1. They beat the previously undefeated Two Rivers Warriors. The final score, 9-7. We'll see everybody next Friday back here at Todd Field when the Raiders host one of their nemesis, the Matamidi Zephyrs. For Owen Ely, I'm Nick Tuckner. We'll send it back to the studio. Good night, everybody.